Hi all, I'm Hope, and this is the Hope Akedika show. And joining me today is no other than Mr. Akedika. I thought, what a better way to start the show than to bring you my own significant other, so that you guys can get to know me a bit more better as well, as also giving you a little insight into my personal life as well, and just to hear from him and see what he has to say. Right? Hi Ozzy, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you for having me.
No, it's certainly a pleasure. Thank you for cooperating, because you had every right to, you didn't have to be here today, but thank you for being here, and I really appreciate that.
Well, I guess I had to.
You had to. No, you didn't. You had a choice.
You have to support the wife, no?
Okay. I have to speak louder.
Okay.
So this year is wrapping up very quickly, and it's coming to an end. But obviously, because I've experienced the year with you, how the year is ending is very different to how it started, in terms of work life, family life, and how does that make you feel? How do you feel about how the year's turned out?
I can't really complain, to be fair. I mean, started off as being a father, just had an amazing son. New experience, getting used to it. Right now, going to the end of the year, I'm not going to say we or I have accomplished anything major, but it definitely has been an amazing year altogether.
Yeah, because okay, so I'm going to ask this question just to follow up of how the year changed drastically in terms of what you were doing at the beginning of the year in terms of work and career. And I remember you came to me and spoke to me about how you couldn't really remain in the workplace that you were any longer because your mental health was getting affected. You weren't happy there. And there was a lot to consider because, like you said, we just had a son, and at the end of the day, we still had to put your mental health into consideration. So how did you feel coming to me with that information, knowing that what we had at stake?
I mean, there's no other, how can I put this? There's not a better person to go to, to go speak to about the situation or whatever I was going through at the time, other than you. So it just made sense to come to you and talk to you and explain what was going on.
Yeah.
And figure out what we can do moving forward. And I guess that's what I did.
Yeah.
It was hard. I mean, working. I love working in the care sector. Looking after vulnerable people. I loved the job. It was good, but like you said, it got to a point where it wasn't really helping me personally with my mental health and stuff. So yeah, before I could just quit and leave the job, but I thought, let me talk to the wife and see what we can decide together.
Yeah.
And I feel like we made a great decision, stepping away from the care sector.
Yeah, because, well, I don't know if you remember this, but in terms of work, prior to obviously getting engaged, getting married, it was very much a personal decision that you could make on your own. And sometimes you'd be quite impulsive, I would say. You're not happy with something, you're not staying. And I get it. Like, I'm the same in some sense. But like you said, obviously this was bigger than just yourself. You had to take into consideration family life, your son, and just where you are going to be going in the next direction.
Yeah.
And obviously, leaving that job, it's sort of like the opportunity presented itself pretty much straight away. Like, you got back into what you love doing the most. You got back into basketball. And, share.
I think I planned it. We planned it. I told you what I was going to do before I'd done it anyway. Being a basketballer 8 years ago, it's always been something that I love doing. but obviously due to life, things happen. I couldn't do it at the time. Working with vulnerable people was, something that was bringing in money. At the same time, I love doing it. But again, having a child, I felt like I needed to give all my attention to my son, and I wanted to be in the right mental state to be able to do that and be a father. Yeah, but now I'm back playing basketball. Mental health is great, doing what I love, and one step at a time.
Yeah.
I think we're getting there.
I mean, also you're coaching.
I am. Yes, I am.
You're coaching kids, and obviously having a son yourself, I'm sure you have ideas in your head about how that's gonna go.
Yes,
But
it was planned too.
yeah. So Raf's gonna have a coach and a father in you,
100%.
which is
100%.
amazing. Obviously, as his mom, I'm very grateful for that. It's wonderful. It's beautiful to see your relationship blossom. Sometimes it's quite annoying because of how close you two are.
Don't
He clearly has a favorite parent, but it's okay. It's okay.
Oh no.
You know.
He loves you too, but obviously he loves you more.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You wish he lived in my stomach for 9 months. I don't think. I don't think.
No, it's good to see. It's good to see Seraph, coming to my sessions sometimes and just watch me coach or, watch me play or watch the game together. You can see that he's falling in love with the sports. I'm not saying I'm gonna push him and make him play basketball, but obviously I would love for him to play basketball. But that's gonna be his decision to make.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure I'm guiding him,
Prompting him,
towards the right direction,
nudging him.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I believe he's gonna be a great sport man, a great athlete.
Yeah.
No matter what he does, he's gonna be good at it.
No, definitely, I agree.
He's learning from his dad,
Yeah. Okay. So, also, I guess, well, in terms of obviously leaving the job with a stable income and then coming into something you're passionate about, something that's a career, and it takes work. It's something that you build. Do you know what I mean? You can start from
100%.
somewhere, and you can go somewhere with it as well. And I feel like, from my perspective, my thing was like, I want to, how far are you willing to go with this? How far are you planning on going with this? What is the end goal? And for me, it was always the main concern because, as a man, I always felt like I always need that assurance that, I always ask you constantly, and I know you're like, oh, she's constantly asking for reassurance that I know what I'm doing and I'm on the right path. But, like, how does that make you feel sometimes? Does that make you feel...
I guess I understand why you constantly asking me, you okay? How's the job going? Are you serious about this? Is this what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life? I get it. Obviously, as a wife, as a woman, you need to make sure that, your husband is holding things down, like we say. And you know this already. This is what I love doing, and I'm planning to do it for the rest of my life, of course. I mean, it might not producing or making as much money like we would like, but in a long run, I really believe it's something that is gonna, bring a lot of income to the household.
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot more to your career because,
Of course.
and that's for you to share if you're willing to. But obviously, that's not,
I don't mind. Coaching, like I said, coaching with this opportunity is a one in a lifetime. To be fair, not anyone can just wake up and start coaching for West Bromwich Albion. That's a big name. That's a big organization, and there's a lot of opportunities working for these guys. I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm playing, getting back on the court, playing, and also coaching the under 15s. At the same time, there's a lot of jobs. They're offering a lot of jobs within the company,
Yeah.
and you never know.
No, definitely.
We'll see how it goes.
And or in terms of the concept, happy wife, happy life, what's your take on that?
Guys,
No, be honest, because I
don't let
know.
anyone lie to you.
Okay.
Don't get married. Nah, it's how can I put this? I've always wanted to get married. You know, people close to me, my friends, they knew I was different. You know, I wanted this life. The life I'm living now is what I wanted. You know, but I'm not gonna say it's a perfect life
Of
and
course.
it's always good. No, it's not. As you know, we have our days. You know, we have our time where we're not clicking. But again, it's what I wanted to do. It's what I want. I always want to be your husband. So no matter what happened, I'm always going to be your husband, and we're going to make it right. So I guess that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah.
Can't really complain.
No, definitely. And in terms of another aspect that makes the relationship work, I feel like it's sacrifice. And
That's it. Yeah.
there's something, I think I've said this to you not long ago. We were talking about how sometimes in the relationship it's giving 70-30 or 50-50. And I don't mean in terms of money, essentially. I mean in terms of the sacrifices that I have to make to help you further your aspirations, or the sacrifices you have to make to help me further my aspirations. Because in terms of the things that we want to accomplish in our lives, there's no doubt it's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take, times where, sometimes you spend more time with Seraph these days. Like, there's no doubt about it. Because sometimes I'm just genuinely, up and about, and the only time I see him is at bedtime, or, in the morning when I come back from work, or it's a lot. And,
of course.
in terms of sacrifice, I feel like, how did we figure that out? How are we doing that? How do we know we're doing it? Because I know we're doing it, but how are we doing it?
I think it's, again, it's something, because I wanted to get married. I wanted to be with someone that I love, and that's something you wanted too. So I think it clicked. It's automatic. We know what we need to do. So we know if I'm working and I'm busy doing something, automatically you have to, be the boss of the house, and be with Seraph, and look after the house, and the other way around. When it comes to me and you're working, you're busy, I gotta do the same. Making sacrifices. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And just knowing your priority, to be fair. And I think we're doing it perfectly.
No, definitely. And no, thank you for that, because sometimes it's like, obviously we've already touched a lot on parenthood. We can't talk about our life now without talking about being parents. And obviously we have a son, and we speak often about, how far is the reproduction gonna go, but in terms of, my feelings towards having more kids, how does that make you feel like? Are you happy to
I want to say this on camera. I mean, I don't like it.
You don't like
I
it?
don't like it. I mean, I've always wanted kids. I've always wanted a lot of kids, growing up.
What's a lot?
7, the number. Just 7. But
what did
no,
you
I
say?
mean,
Where did we go from 1 to 3 to 4 to 7?
I think what happened was, because I grew up with my grandparents.
What had happened was,
I grew up with my grandparents. He had 7 kids.
Right.
So seeing that, big family, and the happiness, and I don't know. I think I just grew up into loving that idea of having a big family of my own. We did speak about it a lot before we got to the engagement and the marriage and all that stuff. You seem to agree to
No,
me.
I was team 4 kids originally.
Yeah.
That was always my plan as well. But once the reality happens,
No, of
once you
course,
actually
of course.
birth a human being,
Of course.
it's a completely different reality, because you're like, there's so much that goes into it. The emotional, the physical, it's just very demanding. And I feel like my thing is not even that I doubt that I have the potential to be a mother to more kids. I feel like it's just, it's the way I feel about the one son that I have, feeling like that for potentially 2, 3, 4 other human beings. I feel
It's
like I
hard.
would lose myself.
Now, of course, it's hard. It's hard. Like I
would-
said, I've always, maybe I don't say it much, but I've always told you that you're one of the strongest, you know, women that I know. I mean, seeing you, watching you give birth to Seraph was, it was crazy. It's something.
How was that day?
It
Talk
was,
about it.
it was crazy. It was mad, you know. And since then, I've always loved you. I've always seen you as one of the strongest, you know, women I've met. But since that day, it's like my emotion towards you and everything is doubled. You know, it's amazing how you can deal with something like that. You know, that's why, as much as I say, I don't like the fact that we might not have 7 kids, but I know and I understand what you go through. I
No,
know
babe,
it's
listen.
I know it's hard.
Okay.
I understand.
See,
I know it's hard. So I understand. I understand, but
the
I would love
difference
to.
between 1 and 7 is a lot. I feel like you need to lower that number
Yeah.
drastically.
7's probably pushing it too far, but yeah, I mean, I would love to have 2, 3 more. You know, 2 more maybe. But I totally understand. I understand how hard it is to be a mom. But again, you know, I'm always going to be there, no matter what. So you're not doing it by yourself.
So you're getting a vasectomy then?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Why not?
Okay, that was
You think I should?
no. I mean, no. I just asked. I wanted to see what your reaction would be.
Or do you think I should?
I mean, no. It would be premature to decide something like that right now.
Okay. So yeah. So I mean, it depends again. See how life goes. But all I know is I'm with the woman that I want to be with, and so far so good. Enjoying the marriage life, something different, new experience, and we're growing together.
Yeah.
So
In terms of obviously the dynamics of marriage life, and I know like when I first met you, you were not only Sweet Life Entertainment, but you were Mr. Sweet Life. Like, you know, your life revolved around entertainment and being out, and that was your life. And it felt like in a blink of an eye that completely changed. Do you know what I mean? And the way you had, I feel like you were always ready to shift away from that, but the shift was just a bit like, whoa, drastic. And I feel like at some point I was getting a little bit of blame for it because people were like, since she's come around, we don't see you no more. You're not working here now. What was that like for you? Like,
I still, you know, I still get those. You know, I still get people telling me, "Oh, what, your wife is bossing you around," and you know, all this stuff. But it's not that. You know, it's not that.
no, I know it's not that. Because
I
if
think,
anything,
yeah, sorry.
no, if anything, I'm the one sometimes prompting you to
Yeah,
step outside
exactly.
sometimes.
But
Yeah.
people don't know that. People don't know that because they just think, oh, this guy just, you know, changed and stopped doing what he was doing, and you know, since he got with the wife. But really and truly, Sweet Life was built around the people I had around me, and I was always since a little kid. My grandma used to call me in French. It's called Papa Bonheur. It means someone that likes to give. So I always want to make sure people around me are doing well, and especially if they've got talent. So I think I grew up thinking about other people and making sure other people are happy than myself. So Sweet Life Entertainment was always about, you know, the talented friends that I've got around me. You know, make sure they, you know, they're out there doing what they're supposed to be doing, and you know, succeeding. You know, if the musicians, and make sure they recording music and you know, pushing them in the right direction basically. But I forgot about myself. I forgot that I'm talented too. I can do something for myself as well. You know what I mean? So I think having a family and having a child kind of woke me up a little bit to realize that, look, we know you love your friends. We know you want your friends to succeed, but you need to succeed too, because you got a family now. So I
Yeah.
think that's what happened. Street life is still there. I think it's still there. It'll come back in due time. But right now, I just want to make sure the
Focus on
family is
yourself.
stable and myself. And
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm really glad to hear that because, like you said, it was a lot of you pour yourself out a lot into people and invest in their talents, and your life became that. But then your passion was put away. You packed your dreams and your passions aside, and you just put them aside. And like this year, we've visited that, we've opened that back, and it's sort of just like sprung full wide open, and it's just quickly got back in there and just doing what you're doing. Obviously, there's been the setbacks, the injuries, and how does that make you feel, like going back, making such a big impact with the team, and then boom, all of a sudden you're off?
with basketball, it's a hard one because again, I've always played basketball when I was since I was young. You know, this year I felt like I was ready to fully go and fulfill my dream of becoming a basketball player. I worked so hard, very hard,
Yeah.
during the summer, and then being injured, I'm not gonna lie to you, it affected my mental health. I didn't take it so well. I've struggled. I'm still struggling because I still haven't played since I got back into playing basketball. But I'm doing other things like coaching and training with the guys. Just to make sure I'm fit enough when I'm ready to start playing. And yeah, I mean it hurts. It hurts, but there's nothing really I can do about it other than just prepare myself by keep putting in the work and seeing the physios and whatnot.
No, definitely, and you are gonna get back out there. Like,
Definitely.
I love watching you play. Honestly, it's one of the best things because when you're on that court, it's like, yeah, number 12 is on the court.
Trying my best. I mean, I still feel like I haven't, played how I want to play.
Yeah.
Because every time I feel like, yeah, I'm ready. I get injured. First it was my finger, now it's my knee. But yeah, I can't wait. I mean,
I'm excited for the new year because I know why I'm excited, because there's gonna be a lot more games for you, a lot more.
100%. I'm jumping into the season. The season started already back in September, but due to injuries, I couldn't play. But in January, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So I can't wait.
Awesome. So, in terms of, I'm just gonna go back quickly to family life, and it's like, obviously, when I've met you, you are very close to your siblings and your parents, even though they're in a different continent. But and obviously my family dynamics as well, and the way you grew up and the way I grew up, and we always have these conversations about how sometimes that can become a bit of a, not a clash, but sometimes we realize how the way we were raised different impacts how we treat each other or how we react to certain situations, and like
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at first I didn't get used. At first I didn't. How do I put this?
understand.
No, I understood it. Obviously, everybody's different. Every family is different. Where I'm from, I grew up in a different way. Obviously, I didn't know that until I started coming to your house and meeting your mom and your siblings and whatnot. Yeah, it was different. I didn't judge you. I'm not saying your family is bad or you
Of
do,
course
but
not,
obviously
I know.
it's different. I didn't judge you. I knew that at some point we'll come to an understanding and I'll continue to love you and the family. This is what I'm doing. I mean, without saying much, but I love your mom. I love your aunties. I love your uncles. I love your sister, your brother. I love all of them. they're good people, you know, my in-laws, and they can be a bit crazy sometimes, but I love the craziness. That's what I think. That's what uh, attracts me to them, basically, because it's a different side that I never got to see with my family, and you know, being around people that are open to you and they can show you their craziness, they're not gonna hide it, you know, because you have some families that hide, you know, their behavior around their in-laws, but your family is not like that. They're open, you know, they're who they are, and I love it about them.
No, definitely. It is one of those things we always talk about. And obviously, like, our son is growing up differently as well to how we both grew up, because like, we both came at a mature age, you slightly more mature than me, to this country. And, you know, like, how he's growing up is, he's growing up in a nuclear family format, but it's also very different to how I grew up. And although you had your mother and father were together always, and you know, you had that structure, like, the environment you grew up in, the country you grew up in, you know, completely different way of life. So how do you feel like that's dealing with a British son?
Well, first of all, I don't think I'd like him to call himself British.
Okay, but
To be fair, but obviously
nationality,
he's got a British passport. But
born and bred.
I think we are trying to make sure that he's got the best of both worlds. To be fair, you know, he's always watching the African, you know, Africans.
Oh yeah, nursery rhymes.
Nursery rhymes and stuff, and we always there showing him love. You know, he's got the love for me, he's got the love from you, he's got the love from his aunties. I think that's what we wanted, to be fair. You know, that's the family life that everybody needs. You know, all the kids. Growing up, you want to have the love from your parents. You want to have the love from your, you know, your
Extended
aunties
family,
and extended
yeah.
family, and you know, I think that's what makes a child, you know, grow in a certain way instead of going and trying to find it elsewhere, you know, in the streets, for example. We don't want that. So I think, yeah, I think we're doing a great job. Doing a great job.
So how did you, like, because obviously, like, the crowd that you got in with, you could have easily deterred into a certain life. Do you feel like you were too strong-minded for that? How did you escape
What
the
do you mean
streets, even though you were physically there, but you were not a part of it?
in the UK, you mean? Or?
In the UK?
Again, everything goes back to growing up in Africa. You know, living in Congo, in the capital where I'm from, the area where I was living is a mixture of, you know, rich people, poor people, middle class, and whatnot. And my friends were all over the place. You know, I'm not saying we were rich or whatever, but you know, we were okay,
You were comfortable, yeah.
comfortable, and I had rich friends, I had poor friends, I had, like, you know, I had a mixture of friends, and I think that's what made me who I am, because I saw how my poor
They were your
friends,
people, yeah.
you know, my poor friends, how they were living, you know, their homes, and how their parents were treating them. You know, I could see how my parents were treating me. I could see how my rich friend, how the parents were treating them, and how they're living their life. And when I'm with my, you know, I don't want to keep saying poor friends, but my poor friends, it's like I was living a different life. And when I'll go chill with my rich friend, it's like I'm living a completely different life. And bring it all together, it's what made me who I am. And when I came to the UK, I think I didn't have that, I don't know, what's the word, complex. So
Yeah, I get it.
I didn't have that, you know. It was easy for me to just fit in and, you know what I want, you know. Yeah, so I've always knew what I wanted. Coming in the UK, to the UK, and I knew I had bad friends, I knew I had good friends, but I knew I wanted to do good. So my mind was focused on, you know, in a good path, I guess.
So You speak French, do you?
Yes, I do.
I think I've told you this story where obviously
Mm.
in secondary school,
Mm.
I've told you this, right?
You told me a lot of stories, so if you remind me.
I mean, like, my dream to be with somebody who's French
Speak French.
spoken.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, like, obviously, they were always going to be African or of, you know, black origin, because, you know, that's just, I've always known that I want black love per se. But I guess I didn't really realize that I was narrowing my options down to like 3 or 4 countries in Africa.
There you go.
And here we are today. So, and you don't teach me no French. Why? Why you
I
not?
mean, we started to, you know, I started learning your language too, didn't I? At first, you know. But I guess it's life, you know. I guess it's life. But
Okay, teach me a sentence right now. A full-blown sentence.
how about you tell me what I've already taught you? Any word in French?
Well, I know basic words like bonjour and...
Yeah, okay.
I mean, like, give me a sentence that I can repeat or say.
Je t'aime, mon chéri.
That's basic.
Yeah, you said basic sentence.
Je t'aime, mon chéri.
There you go. If you say that to me a lot, that would mean something.
I'm not calling you mon chéri though. Chéri is like something you would
Yeah,
say to you.
in French, obviously, you can call your husband chéri.
Oh,
It's
okay. I thought it was just addressing the ladies, the females.
no. Okay. Yeah.
So obviously back to the very concept of, you know, the year wrapping up and all. Do you feel like how are you feeling? Like, do you feel like overall 2020, what did we, was it like a lesson year? Was it what was it?
I
To
mean,
2022.
I feel like this year's been one of my best year living in it. Well, my whole life, to be fair. Yeah, man. This has been my best year, and the crazy thing about it is, we haven't even accomplished what we want to accomplish, but I can already see, you know, I can already see it happening. It's been a good year, you know, a lot of learning, a lot of, you know, experience, and a lot of things that I never got to do before. And
I think it's just the way things are aligning. They just happen so smoothly, because we've spoke about a lot of these things before. Maybe 2-3 years ago we spoke about these things, but the way they just aligned so naturally this year, I think that's what makes it.
yeah, I think because we believed in it, you know. We always talk about things and we want it to happen, you know, because our words are powerful. You know, when we say things and we believe in it, we have faith in it, and it's gonna happen. And I think that's what we've been doing all these past years, and growing up as well is a big part of that, because the older you get, you start to see things different, and I think that's what happened to me personally. The older I am now, I start to see things different. You know, decisions, start making great decisions, and you know, yeah, so good things just happening to you without even you know, trying hard or anything.
But sometimes do you feel like I push you too hard, because sometimes I'm constantly asking.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what you should be doing anyway. I mean, maybe, you know, I might not. To you, it might seem like I don't like it, but yeah, that's what you should be doing. You know, as a wife, you should be pushing your husband. As a husband, I should be pushing my wife to do great things, and you're pushing me to do great things, and I appreciate it. You know, it seems harsh sometimes, but
yeah. I think that is one thing that I like, is how we can speak to each other. I feel like
it's the key.
when we're just talking in general and we're having general banter, we can be quite blunt with each other. And so when it comes to the serious stuff now, when it comes down to the nitty-gritties that need to be dealt with, I can equally be blunt, because you're like, that's not come out of nowhere. That's just somehow you know, it's something you're sort of used to.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like, do you feel like people have like a misconception of how I really am and the me that you deal with and the people think.
Maybe, but I guess like again, I like it. You know, it's key. You know, communication is key, and being blunt and being honest to each other is key. Yeah, I like it. Other people might not like it, but that's their business.
No, I mean, well, obviously, I wouldn't address anybody the way we address each other. It's completely different because you know it's coming from a place of genuine love and genuine, not. It's not coming from a place of I'm saying these words to hurt you or to
Exactly,
insult you.
exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. So it's yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. Same thing with me. I'll tell you things how they are, and you do the same. So I think that's what makes us, and that's what keeps us going.
Yeah.
I suppose.
No, definitely. So, what are you looking forward to the most in the coming year then?
I'm coming here. First of all, we gotta go see the in-laws this Christmas. Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I'm looking forward to that. Coming year, there's a lot of things happening. I'm finally gonna start playing again. I'm looking forward to that. Um, my coaching job. I'm looking forward to that. My team is doing great.
Your team is
And,
doing great.
we
Your
haven't
team is doing amazing.
we
Now,
haven't lost a
talk
game,
about the team
know,
because there's these little 15, 14-year-olds that adore you, literally adore you. Like, you have a way with people. People just, they draw to you, they love you, especially kids, like, you know. And I feel like you're really in the right place to make the right impact to these young boys. And I love the relationship you have with every single one of them on that team, and the way the moms have seen you interact with their kids and how they're just like, wow, he really cares about our kids and we can trust our kids in his care. And it's just beautiful, like Coach Carter.
I mean, it's. I think it's something that it's in me.
Yeah.
I love kids. But again, um, I want Clive Allen is
That's your big boss. That's your dad. That's your.
is someone that is someone that I want to thank a lot for giving me this opportunity, because again, no, it's not just for everyone to just start working with the Albion Foundation. He gave me the opportunity, and the kids love me. Before I even took the job, he said to me, this summer, come to a camp. They're all gonna be there, and I want you to, just learn. Watch what I'm doing with them, and you already play basketball, and it shouldn't be hard for you. And then just get to know them and see how it goes. And if you guys connect, then the job is yours. And just like that, the job was mine before even the season started. I worked with them last summer during, I think, was it 2 weeks or a week and a half camp?
I mean, you did a lot of different bits.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. They wanted to start coaching them straight away. Are you going to be our coach? Are you coaching us next season? They kept asking me that question. Then that made me feel good. It made me feel confident. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. And I'm learning a lot from them. And hopefully they're learning something.
I mean, you're
from
gonna
me.
have a 15-year-old boy one day, so.
Exactly. So I'm learning, because it's not easy. It's not easy. These kids, they're all different. They have different characters, and they're all coming from a different household. And you have to make sure when they come in, a session or to a game, they're all together. It doesn't really happen all the time, but we try our best. And
it's been working out for you. The season's been
yeah,
win.
Excellent. I don't think we're gonna lose any game this season, and amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing. No, honestly, I do. I know you love it because I've seen the way you get out there and the work you put into it on the court and behind the scenes, and just in terms of the promotion you put into them and the way you're branding them, every single one of them. And I mean, these kids, they have a career in basketball. Some of them are really going to go far, and
100%.
they're going to look back one day and say,
100%.
who was there along the way with me, and how does that make you feel? Like,
Good, good. You know, the way we built our relationship is very strange to the other coaches that are already there. Because when I came in, we just clicked. We connected, and they'll call me and they'll text me
Yeah, they
out
do
of
a lot.
out of the the practice hours, and which I don't mind. It just means that they trust me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. To be fair,
I love that for you.
I can't wait to see how that goes
Yeah.
in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be something. Most of them going off to college, then uni, then who knows, off to the US, or Europe.
Yeah, no. We've got super talented kids. They amazing, and the beautiful thing about it is when I see them, I see myself, and I look at it as when I was their age, maybe I didn't have the opportunities that they've got. I didn't have someone like me to tell me, what to do or to guide me to the right direction. So I'm giving them what I didn't get.
Essentially.
So yeah, it's nice, and like I said to you before I started the job, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Basically, I'm leaving because it was hard to leave, your full-time job and then go do something else. But I knew that's something that I love doing, and I knew I'm gonna give it, my whole. I'll give it 100%. I'm doing more than what a coach normally do.
Yeah.
Like you said, promotion and other things on the side, and just to make sure the team is okay and the kids as well are okay. Yeah.
No, and like it's the work that you put into the team. It speaks for itself because like you're putting them on a platform. People are noticing them as a team and as individuals, and even your work is recognizable. So definitely you are passionate about it, as you say you are.
I am.
Saraf is going to be what?
He's going to be 2 in May. In a couple of months, he's going to be 2.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want him to be 3 so I can start training him.
I thought you said you're not forcing nothing. I thought you said...
Yeah, but I can still train him. Until he said, Dad, I don't want to play basketball. Then I'm like, okay, cool. Until then, he's going to be coached.
Yeah. He's had a basketball in his hand since he could hold an item.
That's it.
So...
You gotta get him to love early.
Yeah. But the thing about Saraf is he will not do what you want him to do.
I know. Doesn't know
you want him, like, he's not going to do something to make you happy. He's not going to do something to please you. He's going to, if you want him to do it more, the more he will refuse to do it just to, like...
He's like me.
Yeah.
I think he got it from me, to be fair. I'm like that. When I know I'm going to do something and you telling me to do it, you're forcing me to do it, I won't do it.
Yeah.
So I started to see a bit of me, from him.
Yeah.
Day by day. But,
definitely is.
Nah, he loves it. He loves shooting the ball. He loves bouncing it. So hopefully he's gonna be dunking soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well,
let me ask you this then. How is it being a mom? How does it feel being a mom?
I don't know. Like we co-created a whole human being. Like, that's what I mean. It's such a huge responsibility, and I feel like you just don't want to get it wrong. You just constantly asking yourself, did I show him enough love today? Did he feel love today? Did he feel like, did he learn something new today? Did he at any point, did I make him feel bad, or did I help him through a difficult emotion? And it's just constantly thinking, if there's any hidden or innate traumas in me, like, I don't want to pass that on to him. Is that I feel like that's what makes me not, obviously, aside from being young and just being on the path that I am now, is one of the few things that makes me think, okay, I can handle the what I have now. I can handle him. I can handle him, and still trying to know myself and trying to grow myself. I can handle having him. It's actually amazing to grow with him, because sometimes I'm like, he doesn't even think I'm his mom, does he? Like, he just thinks we're friends.
No, I think you're doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job, to be fair. Maybe I don't say this enough to you, but you're doing an amazing job.
No, thank you.
Yeah. And one more question. How does it feel having a husband? I mean, we're both young, yeah, but obviously compared to me, younger. And how does it feel, you know, having a husband that's not, how can I put this? You know how when you're young, you always expect your husband to, you know, always taking you out and, you know, gifts and money and stuff. I don't have all that. So how does it
see the whole,
how does it feel?
Since we met, like, you know, I'm not, like, the reason we clicked and connected instantly is because mentality. At the end of the day, it all comes down to mentality. We met, it made sense, you know, our paths aligned. It made sense that the way you think and the way I think, I don't necessarily feel like I need to be sitting in rooftop hotels every day, or you know, like, when it came to our birthdays, I wanted us to make an effort to go have dinner, because I feel like when we do that, we tend to have these conversations, amazing conversations that, you know, it carries us into the next year. Definitely. And I feel like that's a very important part of our relationship.
Yeah, it is.
And there's beauty in romance, there's beauty in, you know, spending and going out and doing all that, but that's not what's building us. That's not what's, I mean, that can keep the spark alive, that can keep, you know, the romance going, or that can keep the excitement alive. But what we're working on is much deeper. It's much more, like, I heard someone say something like, the first year of marriage is always the hardest, and not necessarily because of anything else, but because you'd go down to the church, or you go down to wherever you go, you know, and they lived happily ever after. And then the expectations that come with that of, okay, this is supposed to be the happily ever after. What now? You know, 1 month in, honeymoon phase, you're excited, you're happy. 2 months in, like, whoa, reality hits you. Like, you know, there's bills to pay, there's someone's emotions to deal with constantly, there's, you know, another human being we're raising to deal with their emotions, and taking that into account, and you yourself remembering that you are a person within yourself, and I'm a person within myself, and not forgetting that as well, that I have dreams. And if I don't push myself to them, if I don't speak for them, then they just sort of drown and go down, and they sort of, you know, that's why women will come away from, after raising kids, they're 18, they're gone off, they're independent. They're like, now what? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mother. If anything, it's one of the most rewarding jobs, obviously. It cannot be overemphasized enough. But you know me, the girl that I am, the woman that I am, and
the reason I asked that, because again, I appreciate you. You know, it's not every day you have a wife or a girlfriend that, you know, just take you as you are and doesn't ask much. Basically, you don't ask much. You know, you don't ask for much.
I ask,
you know,
for a lot, but just in a different way, not in a materialistic way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Because we do go out, we do have our time. You know, we go out, for, you know, for a meal or whatnot. But
because I know that a time will come where I will endlessly be running your credit cards and your cards, so I'm not even bothered about that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, as long as you're not doing it now.
I mean, you know, there's a whole lifetime.
You know, no. Seriously, man, I appreciate you and not making it hard for me. Because again, being in a marriage, I've realized something. You know, I can understand why some people get divorced, and I understand why some people just leave home and, you know, abandon the wife and the kid. I do understand it.
Yeah, no, I
see
get
it now.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm not doing that, because you are making it easy for me, you know, and I love you for that. You know, and
no, I love you too. Like I said, a man's mental health is important, and I feel like you guys are not nurtured
Your
enough.
mental health is important too.
No, definitely.
You know, so
And
we do.
we women, we are constantly, putting our mental health first. And I know, like, the inequality has always been there for women, but men, you have never really delved into your emotions. You've never really had. That's why men have a midlife crisis, and they'll be able to, when they go to work, they go bankrupt, and they can't go back home to their woman and tell them, this is the situation we're in, because I failed as a provider, I failed as a breadwinner, and he was not allowed to be anything more than that. And that's not what I wanted for you. I wanted you to be the hands-on father that you are now. Like, you're a morning person, I'm not. So Seraph is a morning person. So yeah, I'm pulling that blanket over my head, and you two are dealing with each other, because
No, of course. Again, we communicate, we know each other. I know your weaknesses, you know my weaknesses, I know your strength, you know my strength. So I think that's what, again, makes us,
compatible.
Yeah. 100%. I believe that.
Yeah. No, definitely. Honestly, there was a great conversation, because through you, people, like, I'm also bringing out myself, because, like, we are intertwined now. Like, there's no speaking about my life without speaking about your life. I would not be Miss Akedika without a Mr. Akedika. I would be Hope Hungaro. I would not be Hope Akedika. So, in essence, the whole reason that you're here today and helping, I would call this the opening ceremony, because,
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
Very proud of you. I know this is what you always wanted, and this is what I always wanted for you. I've pushed you my way. I've tried to make sure you're doing what you love.
Essentially, you are also very much the reason I'm also sat here today, if you remember correctly, because I wouldn't.
It's all you, because you wanted it. You wanted to do this, and then I just did my part as a partner, as a husband, and help you to just put that gas a bit more, and get your priority in place.
No, thank you very much for your time, and I cannot wait to have many, many more talks and guests, and delve into even deeper conversations that you can relate to, the world can relate to, things that we can all connect with, on a global platform. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here and to be your host for the Hope Akedika show. Thank you. Hi all, I'm Hope, and this is the Hope Akedika show, where we leave no rocks unturned. We'll be discussing all things personal and public. Be sure to catch me every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. on all your favorite social media platforms via Breakthrough TV, sponsored by New Style Radio and Reggae Gem Jam. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the post notifications, like, and get involved in the discussion as it's happening. And don't forget to share.